going to hold up.
Because last week I didn't see it, Dave.
No, you should see me tonight.
Yeah.
Right, let's go and put the video on, and then we're away. I took Glenn out now, unfortunately, but. Well, welcome to the Reposs Isthmian preview show, and we're back for the next hour. And of course, we'll be previewing 8 of the games in depth, and then of course we'll go through some of the others as well. Busy week, some big games this weekend. But I suppose first things first, and you might notice that Glenn's not with us tonight. Unfortunately, Glenn has had to leave us for the time being anyway to concentrate on other things. So we wish Glenn all the very best. And of course, also as well, I've seen a couple of bits as well that Andy Wilkins, a couple of comments that people have made around Andy Wilkins' graphics, saying what's Wembley got to do with the Isthmian League? Well, come on, guys, this guy's putting out some great graphics for us, and he's now put them in, as you can see tonight, with the actual grounds that the games are going to be played at. So a massive thanks to Andy, and just to say, don't worry about the guys out there that have no idea what they're talking about. But going on to tonight, and of course to my right or to your left, depending on which way you're looking at it tonight, of course, as usual, far left, and a big good evening to Paul.
Evening, mate. Evening, Dean.
And of course, he's in the middle tonight. I don't know how that's worked, but there we go. And he's off the floor. And as he said before, he's got a job now, so he can afford a seat. So welcome, Dean.
Evening, gents.
And looking at your name pops up right in front of you as well. So that's quite handy as well. But exciting week, do you think, for the actual league this week? Some really big games that are going to be played over the weekend.
Yeah, big weekend. They're all big now. We're heading into the last final part, so every game's a big game. The leagues are all tight, so yeah, it should be exciting.
Dean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the snow we had sort of Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe people thought a lot of the games would be cancelled this week, but I think the weather's been decent today, and a lot of games will be on tomorrow by the looks of it.
There's some great games, and of course, games that we'll be going through tonight will be Folkestone against Kingstonian, Tonbridge against Haringey, Heybridge against Sudbury, Hertford against Tooting and Mitcham, Bedford Sports against Bracknell, Whiteleaf versus Phoenix, Three Bridges against Ashford United, and after the weekend, it's 1v2 in the Bostik North as Bowers go to Parkside to face Averley, and that is our Andy Wilkins star game this week. So that's going to be an absolute humdinger. But I suppose as we start off, and people wanted to know what the scores were and how we're getting on. Well, at the minute, Dean's sitting on 43 points, and Paul's sitting on 46, and I'm sitting on 47. So as we go into this week's end, so we start with the Premier game, Folkestone and Victor versus Kingstonian. And Folkestone seem to hit a bit of a rocky patch at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, they're right up there. It's another big game, as we just said at the start. I think there's 2 points between the two sides. So they'll, I'm sure, want to jump back on and pick up results this weekend. It's a massive game.
Yeah, I think both teams lost at the weekend, didn't they?
Yeah.
I know Kingstonian lost to Whitehawk, I think it was. So that was a bit of a surprise at home. Both teams will be looking to get back on track this weekend.
And I mean, literally, Folkestone, I think we said once before, didn't we, that Folkestone's not the greatest ground to go to because you've only got to be off slightly, and you're going to get a good iron.
Yeah, well, Folkestone last year, like I've said a couple of times, we went there with Wingate and got good stuff in over there last year. They get good support, and they're a good side.
Been to Folkestone, have you two with a team?
No, not personally, no.
Yeah, Wingate last year, yeah.
Yeah. And what happened there? Did you get a good result, or did you get something?
No, we got thumping, mate. 5-0, I think it was. 600 people telling me, Keith and Richie, that we didn't know what they were doing, and they were right, mate.
It's because you didn't have your Alexa A1 coach, though. That's what that's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, they got one of them since I left.
Have you seen that, Dave?
No, I haven't. No,
Wingate have got have employed a new coach. It's basically like an Alexa type thing. Have you not seen it? He's been by sports and all sorts.
I've not seen it. No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, massive news this week. No, fair play to Wingate if they're trying things, and it's brought them great publicity. So it's great for a club that I love as well. So I think they're trialling it or testing it against Whitehawk, I think.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's one of them. Why not give it a go? You never know. But they're going to get a big fall if they get beat. They get beat tomorrow. I think they could get some stick.
At least they can blame the machine, can't they?
No, I must admit, I haven't seen it this week. I've been 70 hours so far I've done this week, so one day to go, but we're getting there. But the actual formula and table for the last 5 games, Kingstonian, they beat Bishop Stortford 3-0 away. They drew with Knapp Hill, I'm assuming that must be in the County Cup, and then they won 8-7 on penalties. They lost to Tonbridge Angels by 3-2, beat Carshalton 3-2, and then lost to Whitehawk by 3-1. 10 goals for, 9 goals against. Folkestone, they beat Margate 1-0 at home. They then drew 0-0 with Burgess Hill, beat Hornchurch 5-0, lost to Bracknell 4-1, and then lost to Brighton Sea by 2-0, scored 7, conceded 6. When these guys have played each other before, 5 different games. Folkestone 3-1, 2-2, 1-1, 3-0 Folkestone, 4-1 in the reverse fixture earlier on in the year to Kingstonian. So 2 wins to Folkestone, 1 to Kingstonian, 2 draws, 10 goals for 10-8 in favour of Folkestone victors. So it looks like it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. It depends on what happens on the day. It's very tight up there. It might be a bit cagey. They're both trying to get in the playoffs. I don't think it'll be that high. I think it'll be quite a close game.
Yeah, I think Kingstonian will win 2-1.
He's going early, 2-1.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm generally going to just about to say exactly the same thing, 2-1 Kingstonian.
2-1 Kingstonian. And I'm going to go the other way. I think it might be 2-1 to Folkestone Victor. Because is it that type of place? Is it the one place? Is it one of those grounds where you look at in the fixture list and think, "Oh, I don't fancy going there"?
Possibly. I've never been there, mate, so I wouldn't know what it's like. But Dino might be better.
Yeah, no. Well, obviously both teams are expected to be up there this year, aren't they? So yeah, I mean, I like playing the so-called big teams because it's obviously with the players and stuff. A lot of the players think they should be playing higher, and they want to impress. So this their opportunity. Go and show what you can do.
Play in front of a big crowd as well. I'd have thought over there.
Yeah. So yeah, you test yourself against the best. This obviously, of course, it can go the other way, but as a manager and as a player, you always want to test yourself against the better teams in the league.
It's certainly going to be a decent game, whatever the result, though, isn't it? It's certainly going to be a game to go and, if he's a neutral, possibly might want to go and watch.
Yeah, I think, like I say, these games are the ones that are worth paying the money for. And as we said, I think we said last week, if you want to win things and you want to get promotion, these are the games you want to play, and these are the games you have to win. So look, I think it'll be a difficult day for both sides, but I just think Kingstonian will have a little bit too much firepower.
Okay, so 2 for 1 going the other way. Good news for all Spurs fans as well. I see South Korea have been knocked out of the Asia Cup, so they'll get their man back. Tonbridge Angels against Haringey Borough a few weeks ago. These two have been up there at the top of the top of the table. Haringey sort of got back on ways as well. Tonbridge as well, getting a couple of decent results as well, and getting back on the, as you say, getting back on the bike or whatever else you want to say. But they're actually seem to be going upwards again at the moment. So I mean, where do you see this one going?
Yeah, Mr. Mackenzie going back to play against his old team as well. So both teams score a lot of goals, don't they? So you talk about Kingstonian and Folkestone. Both of these teams score a lot of goals as well. Haringey sort of nicked a winner. What was it, 88th, 89th minute last week? It should be a good game. And you're talking about paying to go and watch the better teams and watch a good game. I think there'll be a lot of goals tomorrow.
Sorry,
Someone agrees.
Yes, he thinks you're right, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Tunbridge is always a tough place to go. It's quite an intimidating place, and like you say, they've picked up result last weekend. Both sides will be confident. Haringey, they've scored 50 goals in 26 league games and conceded a goal a game. 26, so they're flying, and form would say it will be them that will win the game.
We're looking at the form. Last 5 for Haringey, then 2-2 with Mersham at home. Beat Wingate 4-0 away. Beat Whitehawk 3-0 at home. Lost to Harlow 2-1 away, and then beat Margate by 1-0 in the last game. Scored 11, conceded 4, and 2 of those, of course, were against Harlow. For Tonbridge, they lost 3-1 at home to Folkestone, lost 3-0 away to Carshalton, drew 2-2 with Brighton in Sea, beat Kingstonian 3-2 at home, and then a great result 4-3 away at Bishop Stortford. 10 goals for, 13 against. Head to head, they've only played each other once. That was in the reverse fixture. It was Haringey 4, Tonbridge 0.
I fancy Haringey. But obviously, I think it'll be a lot closer than it was on the Astro. I'm going to go 3-2 Haringey Borough.
He's going to look.
I'm going to go 2-1 Haringey Borough.
And that's exactly what I've done, 2-1 at Haringey Borough. But, I mean, just when you come up against people like that, when you go into that game and you're going up against people like Chindy McKenzie and Alex Reid, there's plenty of firepower there at Tonbridge. But again, like we said, numerous occasions on the show, I suppose it depends on how they cope with the pace.
Yeah, it's. I think both sides are decent sides. Both sides are going to find it the same as the last game we just spoke about. This is the business end. Both teams desperately trying to get promotion. Obviously Haringey in a decent position, but Dorking are chasing them. Dorking won't let up, so it's one of them. The pressure's on. They've got to keep winning. They've lost their buffer of a few points now, so they've got to keep winning week in, week out. This is where we see the teams that deserve to be champions. Do you see
Haringey keeping it up though? Do you see them sort of keep pushing and keeping up at the top of the table?
I think he's going to have money to go out and get players in if he needs to. But I don't know if he's particularly one that wants to keep going out and bringing players. Tony seems to have a belief in the squad that he's got. So it's a tough one. Look, it's a big ask of them. This is the first time they've been in this position in this division. So yeah, I'd like them to. It'd be great. It'd be lovely to see them carry on again. And they're starting to emulate a Concord Rangers type situation.
Yourself, Dean?
Yeah, listen, I've got a lot of friends at Haringey, and a lot of the boys have either played for me or I played with them. I still think Dorking will win it, but I'd love to see Haringey win it.
I think it's Haringey, the surprise. Would you say they're the biggest surprise team of the year so far in the Prem? Yeah,
in terms of sort of obviously their first year at that level of football, what they've done is they've recruited well, and they've kept a lot of boys that have been with them for a few years, and obviously the team spirit, and they know how the manager wants them to play. Like I said, I know I still believe the Astros an advantage, but yeah, fair play to them. They've had a great season so far.
Paul, do you see them winning it now?
Answer to your first question, I think, massive surprise that Haringey have done what they've done. I thought they'd need a season or two to on their feet, but they seem to have found it very, very quickly. It's just a difficult one to call, this game. It is. I know what a tough place it is to go to, Tunbridge. It's a very, very difficult place to go to. So on form, I'd say game, but I've got a sneaking suspicion. I don't know. Not maybe mind that one.
Well, Jason Collins just tweeted in, said it's Friday evening, fellas. I'm still buzzing from Surham's result against High Flying Heybridge, and what a result that one was.
Massive result of the weekend. No one expected that. I think we spoke about it last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we said about surprises, or I did. Surprise at the bottom,
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. Fair play to them. It's a great result.
Great win from. But another thing of Dave and Paul, where we said about these top teams, it is hard to keep winning games all the time.
Yeah.
And obviously, Heybridge has been on a great run. Harringay obviously lost to Harlow the week before, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's hard to keep winning because clubs sort of up their game to play the teams that are up the top.
Mm. These leagues are tough. These are tough. Anyone who, we've all, me and you, Dina, we've experienced managing at this level, and people think it's very easy, and everybody thinks they know best, and everybody thinks they can do a better job. It's hard. It's really, really tough to keep picking results up, churning results out. It's a long season, and there's lots of good sides. There's lots of money floating about, and everybody's trying to get the same end game, aren't they? And then you get to this point of the season, and people are either fighting to be relegated or get in the playoffs. These leagues are that tight, so it's tough. It's very, very tough to keep winning week in, week out, and the teams that do, take me out to them, fair play. That's why I talk about people like Robert at Bowers. Oh, what a great job he's done there to keep winning, not just week in, week out, but for the last 3 seasons on the spin, they've churned results out. So yeah, fair play to him.
Oh, there you go. Something's going on with your phone. There you go. So I mean, going on to the North Division then. I mean, Heybridge against Sudbury. I mean, what do you think is going to happen with that one?
Well, I don't know now.
Yes, Sudbury had a good win, didn't they, at the weekend as well?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's Sudbury trying to get in the playoffs, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've picked results. I know because there was a point where people were questioning Mark, weren't they, and whether he was the right man for the job. And he's firmly put them back in their place. And I think we spoke about it at the time, and we all said, he's got bags of experience, knows what he's doing, been successful at a lot of the clubs he's been at. So, yeah, they've picked right up. Again, another really difficult one to call.
It's going to be a difficult one, I suppose. Heybridge, on the back of the Surrey, surprise defeat. I mean, it's just a matter of will they actually, will they be able to bounce back? Will Julian get them going?
Yeah, again, talking of experience. He's been a pro, played at Liverpool, played at West Ham, so I don't see why he won't be able to bring them back round. It's what. That's again we spoke about. It's the mark of a good management team. Got a good team, a successful team. Is except you're going to get beat. It's how you react after that.
Dean?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Paul said. Listen, you're not going to go through a season and win every game. At the end of the day, you got to bounce back, and obviously, I'm sure they trained Thursday and they would have spoke about the game. And like you say, if Heybridge are going to be up there or Sudbury have got to be up there, they got to meet the top teams and they got to beat them. So it's another good game to go and watch at the weekend.
Well, someone's putting there, Taunton Town FC is far by the greatest team the world has ever seen. So that was Matthew Holberry has just put that in there. But so I mean, where do you see this one going? Jason Collins just said wakey Dean. So
wakey Dean.
Yeah.
Why was I asleep?
That's because he's not sitting. You'll see him fall off the stool in a minute, right? So I mean, with this, I mean, where do you actually see, the Sudbury game going? I mean, do you see Mark Molesley, getting one over on Julian Dix?
Yeah, I've got a sneaking suspicion that Sudbury will win the game. Again, yeah. Well, I fancy a 3-1 Sudbury. I think there'll be goals.
I think it's 2-2.
2-2. Well, I don't think I'd ever go against my mate Mark Molesley, so I'm going to go 2-1 to AFC Sudbury. Yeah, he may well be able to do that. And he said on the other show before, that he's actually got a young side there. He's trying to bring in a couple of older heads as well to actually help the younger ones. And again, he seems to be starting to gel now for him.
Yeah, Dean will vouch for it, and we're both believers in playing young players and seeing if you can get one or two experienced players in there. When them young players are buzzing around and they're confident, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. You can't. If you could bottle it, you would do. So they look like they've got a bit of confidence, and that's all you can ask, manager.
Yeah, I think our team on Saturday, our average age was 19, so that tells you we're very young at the moment.
So is that the way you think is the best way to go? Is to have youngsters in there with a bit of experience, or would you guys go with more experienced than youngsters?
No, listen, the experienced players are vital in the change room, as long as you get good ones. But yeah, if you can get some good youngsters around, sort of 4 or 5 experienced players, and then the youth, where people talk about other players and other teams, a lot of the younger players don't know. It's like when we played Sutton Coldfield, our boys didn't even know where Sutton Coldfield was. So the young players, they don't have no fear, and they haven't got any sort of baggage around. Oh, he's a good centre forward, or he's a good centre midfielder, whatever it is. The younger players just go out there and play.
Yeah, they've got enthusiasm, haven't they?
Yeah.
Enthusiasm to listen, to learn. We were lucky enough at Cheshunt. We had people like Dave Kendall, who's been around. We had Jason Hallett, who's been around. Liam Hope. Liam Hope took a lot of stick when he was at Cheshunt for not banging enough goals in, but he gave us more than that. He gave us that experience when we were 1-0 up in a game, or we were 1-0 down, and he helped the young kids. And I couldn't speak highly enough of him, but unfortunately, he came in for a hell of a lot of stick from people behind the scenes who believed they knew better and weren't looking at it the way we were looking at it. So I think experienced players are vital. They experienced players win your leagues, but youngsters give you so much energy and enthusiasm and fun in the way you play. So I think if you can mix the two, the youngsters' energy and the older players getting them through when it's not going their way, then for me that's the way to go.
Yeah, well, Christopher McCarthy's just come in and said Whiteleaf had a bad day at the office last week versus Hastings. Never turned up. Hastings were at it. Hopefully back on track tomorrow against Phoenix. Young team doing fantastic for Harry Hudson and playing great. Attacking football up the Leaf. Ryan Worrell has said Grays fans have been a bit quiet this week. And Jason Collins said, could we put ourselves on hold for a minute because he's got to go and put his little girl to bed. So moving on then, I mean, Hertford Town versus Tooting and Mitcham, another good game. I mean, Hertford Town seem to be coming into a little bit of form, and Tooting still sort of hovering around just underneath those playoff places.
Good, Dana.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, Hertford, they've had sort of a poor season by all accounts, sort of near the bottom of the league. They at the start of the season, they were spoken about as being one of the sort of title favourites. I know things have been going on behind the scenes at the club. But yeah, Tooting, like I said, I like Tooting. Their manager's a good lad. I like going to their ground, nice sort of big stands and sort of a little bit old-fashioned in a way. But yeah, no, it'd be a good game because obviously Hertford need the points and Tooting need the points to get back up there, sort of heading towards the playoffs.
Yeah, it's tough for Tooting. They've come down. And it's always hard to rally yourselves and go again. And you tend to see that when sides come down. You look at people like Hornchurch. It took them ages to get back up again, didn't it? Look at Cray Wanderers still. They've been down 4 or 5 years now, and they've just found their feet and they're kicking on again. So it's a bit of a nothing season for them. They're probably too far away from the playoffs. They're not going to go down. So it's a bit of a nothing season for them. I mean, look, they're not going to stop fighting, are they? They're going to keep working hard to win games and finish as high as possible. And Hertford, God knows what's gone on there. God knows. There's so much promise. Got some good players down there, or at least they did. And I know they lost a few, but it doesn't look good for them. The only good thing for them is the bottom three have had an awful season so far, so I don't think they'll get dragged into it.
I mean, are you surprised though with that maybe say like Tooting and Hartford? I suppose. I mean, from what you're just saying there, a little bit surprised that they're not further up.
Hartford, yes, maybe. Tooting, I'm not surprised that they're having the season they're having because they've come down and they've got to get over that. So it does take time. It's not automatic. You're going to go straight back up. Look at the teams when they come out of the Premier League into the Championship. Everybody expected Villa to go straight back up, and they're struggling to make the playoffs.
Mm.
Yeah, I think if Tooting win their game in hand, they're sort of 4 or 5 points off the playoffs. So yeah, they're still in a great position to sort of have a late charge. And yeah, I still have the faith that Tooting could sort of maybe nick that last playoff spot.
Well, Mick O'Shea has said Herne Bay to beat Hastings 3-1 tomorrow. You heard it here first.
Well, that's a big shout.
Yeah. So what
Big shout.
So what are we reckoning with Hertford Town versus Tooting? I mean, what would the pitch be like over there tomorrow as well with all the rain we've had? And would it be a bit heavy? Do you think?
I thought so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd get your wellies out. I would have thought.
Does that make a lot of difference though as well? The pitch this time of the year. Would the result maybe be a bit more different if it wasn't for this time of the year?
Depends what type of football you play, doesn't it?
Mm.
Go out and try and, like Dean's sides do and my sides did, if you go out and try and get the ball down and play, you might have to think again. If you launch everything long, then it'll hold up for you lovely.
Yeah, now Tooting like to play. Tooting are a good passing side, so they'll have to adapt quickly if they want to get the points at Hertford. Yeah,
it'll be a battle, which, to be fair, would suit. I don't know what you think, Dean, but I think it would suit Hertford for a battle.
Yeah, they like to battle. Yeah, definitely.
Do you think it'll be a Hertford win then? Is that we're predicting that?
I think Tooting will win 2-1.
I'm going to go Hertford 2-1.
Mm. And I think I'll go 1-1 on that one. So I suppose it certainly isn't going to be 3G, is it?
No.
Nah, most definitely not.
Don't even think it'll be a G, to be honest.
Well, Jason Collins said we can carry on now. He's back, so
Welcome back, mate.
We can keep going. I suppose the next one, look at Bedford Sports against Bracknell. Another really good game. Two really good sides coming up against each other at the weekend.
Yeah, both on Astro as well. So it won't be a problem for Bracknell going to Bedford on the Astro. Like I said, I've been saying all season, the best Step 4 team I've seen this season are Bracknell. So I know they're sort of quite a way behind Hayes and Yedding at the moment. But yeah, they're hoping Hayes and Yedding will slip up. They had a little bit of a blip, Bracknell, but they've come good again. And yeah, I fancy Bracknell to win tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. I'll probably go towards a Bracknell win, like you say, with a 3G as well will help them. I mean, I think people are asking for a miracle for Hayes to slip up 3 or 4 times. I just don't see it personally, but I'm sure they'll keep going and keep battling away. And if they've got to play each other, I don't know if they've got to play each other still. That might help. But yeah, I think Bedford have been a bit up and down, haven't they? One minute they're picking up a great result, and then they're losing against a team they should be beating. So yeah, I think I'd go Bracknell. I'm going to go 3-1 again.
You're going to go 3-1 Bracknell. It'd be interesting. I'm just trying to pull up the form before Dean gives us his scores, but I guess it's just going to be interesting to see. They seem to be a very powerful side, Bracknell. I mean, I've not seen Bedford Sports, but Bracknell seems to be quite a big and physical side. Would it come into anybody's thoughts?
Yeah, when we played Bracknell, the manager at the time, Carl, he was centre half with Matty Day, who was at Wealdstone and Oxford and all that. So the 2 centre halves were very experienced. Yeah, of course. Again, we were speaking earlier about experienced players and stuff. Bracknell have definitely got power, pace, and they got experienced boys who have done it before.
We're looking at their form then. Bracknell first, they won 3-1 at home to Westfield. Beat Chipstead 3-0 away. They beat South Park 4-3 at home, beat Folkestone 4-1 at home, and then drew 1-1 with Cheshunt in the last game, 15-4-6 against. Bedfont Sports beat Ashford Middlesex 4-0, lost to Ware 4-2, lost to Westfield 3-0. They beat Chipstead 1-0, and then the last time out they lost to Marlow 1-0. 7 goals for, 8 goals against. So Bracknell certainly smashed them in and are a bit tight at the back, but Bedfont, well, not many goals when they've played in the last 5 games.
No, I think it'll be 3-0 to Bracknell for me.
When they played each other early in the season, Dean, 1-1. Does that change?
Don't mean nothing now.
No? 2-1 for me to Bracknell for me. Whiteleaf against Phoenix. What are we thinking? What are we thinking on this one?
Well, I went with Whiteleaf last week, and they let me down. I think when they lost to Hastings. Again on their 3G. Let's say my experience of being there on their 3G wasn't great. It wasn't the best 3G in the world. Phoenix seems to have dropped out of it quite a bit of late, and they're sitting in 9th position, game in hand on most. So they're not too far away still, but it seems Phoenix did this when they first came into the Ryman 1 North. Started like a train right up there and then fell away. So maybe that's happening again. I fancy Whiteleaf at home. They're a difficult side to play against at home. We were lucky against them. They had a man sent off, and we controlled the game once that happened. So it's a tough place to go.
Yeah, and Phoenix had a good win last week, didn't they?
Yeah.
Dave, one of your favourite players, scored, didn't he? Tanola.
He did indeed.
Yeah. So but both teams sort of are up there. But like Paul said, I fancy Whiteleaf on the tomorrow.
Well, let's have a look at the form then. So Phoenix Sports drew 1-1 with Cray, drew 2-2 with Faversham, lost 2-0 to BCD in the Big Derby, drew 3-3 with Hastings, and then last time out beat Horsham by a goal to 0. 7 goals for, 8 against. Whiteleaf, they lost to Three Bridges by 3 goals to 2. So I'm just seeing what Dave Rogers has just stuck out, so I'm just laughing. Whiteleaf 4, Greenwich 1. Whiteleaf 2, Walton Casuals 2, and Whiteleaf won 4-2 on penalties. Horsham 1, Whiteleaf 0, and Hastings 3, Whiteleaf 0. Last up, 8 goals for, 10 against. Dave Rogers wants to know, are you round your mums?
Am I round my mums?
Yeah.
No, round my dad's.
That was the question. And then it's they played 4 times against each other. Whiteleaf 0, Phoenix 1. Whiteleaf 0, Phoenix 1, Phoenix 2, Whiteleaf 5, and Phoenix 2, Whiteleaf 2, which was the reverse fixture earlier in the season. 7 goals for Whiteleaf, 6 for Phoenix. So I mean, people like Alex Tanola, always somebody that's going to be in there and going to be banging in goals.
Yeah, he's done it for a long time, and he never particularly settled anywhere, but he's done it for a long time. It's again, these games we're looking at them, and we're picking games that are going to be either promotion chasing teams or relegation teams, aren't they? Because that's the exciting end of the table. So every game we're picking is going to be tough and tough to call. Again, a lot of them are flip a coin and see what happens. So I fancy 2-1 Whiteleaf.
Yeah, I'll go the same as Paul. 2-1 Whiteleaf.
For me, I think this could end up being a 1-1 draw for me. But Andy Wilkins has just kind of said, Canby versus Grays could be a great spectacle tomorrow. 2 good sides who need the points to continue their pursuit for the playoffs. Grays more so, given they lost in midweek to Averley, but Canby will want to continue improving their home defence after a few poor results this season at Park Lane. Brentwood versus Walden could be a class one tonight, given the hosts have got the quality in their rather youthful squad, whilst a win for them could benefit Haybridge and even perhaps Coggeshall tonight. Walden Tiptree need this win to put the pressure on Averley and Bowers, which is crucial tomorrow for the rest of the teams in the playoffs. Dave Rogers has come back and said, hello mate, nice one. Keep up the good work. Jason Collins said, my wife just said to me, come September, you won't need to watch this show as Soham will most possibly go down and you won't be in that league. If we get relegated, I promised her that I will run round the village in a bra.
He loves it.
So we heard it here first, yeah. But
I mean, that one on One North is tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just talking about with a guy with Malden and stuff, it's exciting. It's tight. It's some big games coming up in that one.
One of my boys who played for me at Northwood, Jerome Slew, he signed for Malden last week and scored 2 on Saturday.
And I mean, if you look at it, there's some really good sides in there. They're all up there. They're all sort of big and powerful as well, aren't they? And I think you could probably almost throw a hat over it. I know, a couple of people have already said, well, for me, it's going to be Bowers and Bowers will win it. But it certainly will be interesting to see how that result pans out tomorrow. Yeah,
I mean, you say that, Dave. Aveley have got a game in hand. They win the game in hand. They're a point behind.
2 points in front if they win tomorrow. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's not cut and dried. That's a massive game tomorrow. I mean, they draw, then all of a sudden Malden get dragged into it even more so, and Haybridge as well. So yes, exciting division this year.
We'll go
no doubt. They've all got to play each other again at some point.
Sorry, have you noticed the lights going on and off?
Yeah.
Right. I thought you was in IB for Paul.
No, do you know what it is? My brother is out in Sweden with my dad, hence why I'm here. And he can turn the lights on and off with an app. And he thinks he's funny. That's why they keep going off, so I apologise.
Brilliant stuff. But, I mean, go on to the next one. Three Bridges versus Ashford United. I mean, you'd have looked at this probably beginning of the season and said, well, Ashford will win about 6-0. But maybe not so much now. I mean, Three Bridges have had a really good season. I know Keith said when they played them, they do like to put themselves about a little bit. And Ashford United as well. Another side full of talent.
Yeah, Ashford beat Greenwich 7-0 Saturday, didn't they?
Yeah.
I saw Greenwich got a new manager this week, didn't they? So hopefully they'll pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's shocking the Greenwich, isn't it? You think they had people like Jack Barham there last year and Chinadu and Chinadu McKenzie, and they were flying, going for promotion, and they're bottom of the league basically because Thamesmead aren't in it.
Well, Danny Wickenden has just said yes with 3 smiling faces. So
yeah, I was just about to swear and then stop myself. So.
And Lee Connors just come in and said, "Evening, lads." So evening to Lee, and hope your little ones are better this week. But I mean, Three Bridges, have they been the surprise for you of that league? I mean, because the one that they've come up, they were all struggling, and the year before when they were in the league, they were really struggling and ended up getting relegated, and didn't look like almost to me they were one of the teams that you looked at coming in. Thought, well, they'll be one of the ones that'll be at the bottom again this time.
Yeah, so again, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, and I don't know enough about it, but I think if you're looking just in general at teams that come up, it does take a little bit of time to adjust to the division because there is a big jump. Dana, you was at Cockfosters. Those going from a Cockfosters into a Northwood, there's a big difference. There's a big difference in the levels of what you're doing. It does take a bit of time, and fair play to them. They look like they've pulled themselves well away from that relegation.
Yeah, because I've seen like step 3, step 4, step 5 the last 3 or 4 years, and there is a difference. Every level you go up, it's a lot harder, and you get punished more for your mistakes.
Yeah, I've been and watched a lot of Essex Senior League games this year, and with Sawbridge, not with my dad being there and my brother playing there, and the quality's not anywhere near what you get in the Rhymer or Bostik. You do, like you said. I think that sums it up. I've seen Chance go begging, and no one's punished. You go into that Bostik and the league that you guys are not well in, you do get punished. Jason Alex won't miss those chances; they'll score. So yeah, it's a big difference. But well, like I say, they're well away from it. I think you're looking at. That is a big shout from the Herne Bay one, by the way. Big shout. They're second bottom. Hastings second in the division. Yeah, lovely club. We went to Herne Bay in pre-season. Lovely club, lovely people, good young squad. But yeah, big shout.
Oh, I think if that's the case, I mean, we might even have to get him on the show next week if that result comes back.
He could be our new. He could be our new one of the new people on here.
Oh, I mean, while we're in, so before we get the results for Three Bridges and Ashford, if there's a manager out there that wants to get himself back in some kind of limelight, wants to get himself on the show, then why not give us a contact? Or if you're a fan and you want to join me, Dean, and Paul every Friday night, then why not give us a text or a tweet or whatever else, and we might be able to sort it out for you. If there's somebody out there that wants to join us and come up with your results every week and enjoy the fun that we have on this show on a Friday night, then by all means get hold of us via Facebook or by Twitter as well, and we'll try to see what we can sort out for you. But
everyone other than Bodges.
Everyone other than Dave Bodges. He's in Spain all the time. He couldn't afford the fee
No.
over there, could we? But Three Bridges Ashford, I mean, where do you see it go?
3-0 Ashford.
Jason Collins just said you wouldn't dare have me. Why not? Be interesting because we could do the last show while you're sitting there in your bra. So what do we reckon, Dean?
4-0 Ashford.
4-0.
Grand big.
Well, listening to what Keeves described it, etc. I think I might go 1-1. And I think what he described how they like to put themselves about and all the rest of it. I think it could be really interesting. But I suppose going on to the star game of the weekend, and I suppose it could only be one, and it's Aveley against Bowers and Pitsea. I mean, this one, first v second as it sits at the minute, should be an absolute cracker, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the goals for, both scored 46. You know, there's a couple of points between them. Bowers don't concede as many as Aveley have done, but I think you alluded to that earlier when we were speaking earlier about leaking goals has been a bit of an issue. But they showed massive character in the week, didn't they, Aveley, and in winning the game 4-3 right late on against Grays. Just such a massive game. Bowers can pull right away and start to get the cigars on a little bit, or Aveley can put the pressure on and get the panic going.
Well, I just had somebody come in and said, Firith Bird said, hi, hope. Have you spoke about Bury Town versus Romford tomorrow? She reckons it's going to be 3-1 to Romford against Bury. I'm assuming, 3-1 Bury over Romford, so I apologise.
I was just going to say, that's a big shout. I know, I think Bury will win tomorrow.
But I think tomorrow for me, I mean, I don't know about you doing yourself. I mean, I've seen a lot of Aveley's home games. Aveley have beaten them at Bowers. For me, I think it's going to be, there'll be goals. Am I concerned? I suppose, for me, we've probably got one of the best goalkeepers in any of the four divisions in the in the Bostik League. I'm a little bit concerned that we might shed a few too many goals against Bowers, and we'll be coming up against a very, very decent defensive outfit as well at the back tomorrow. So it could be a bit tough, I think, for Aveley tomorrow.
Yeah, I just fancy Bowers. Yeah, I think, like you say, if you look at the top teams, they don't concede many. Aveley don't have a problem scoring, but they do. They concede a lot for a team that's going to win the league. Do you know what I mean? So they would have to tighten up. But Bowers don't concede many, so I think maybe Bowers will win 2-1 tomorrow.
We just had a couple of bits in here. Ryan's come back in 3-2 Aveley tomorrow is my prediction. Confidence will be a massive after Wednesday's away / home game against the Tenants. Jason has come back and said, what's got on with Ram Meadow? Are Bury getting a new ground or has been knocked on the head? Also, the Blues have a great fan base, just need a bigger bar. And Lee Connor said, predictions on the Basildon game tomorrow. We'll come to that in a minute. But I think, so do do you see that the win? You just said something. You think Bowers may win tomorrow, but is that down to the fact of the two defences? Do you see the Bowers defence probably being a little bit stronger than the Averley defence, and that's what may sort of swing it a little bit?
Yeah, I say I just look at it, and I'm looking at James, the manager, got experience, knows how to win the league. You look at his Brighton Sea side, just kept churning results after results after results after results. I'm sure he gets frustrated with the goals that are conceded, but if you win 4-3 or 5-4 or whatever it may be, they all count for 3 points. You know, they all count for 3 points, and Brighton Sea were very much like that. It's a very difficult one to call. Bowers have not really had their blip yet. I don't think they've just kept churning results out. Averley have had a couple of wobbles, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And are still in there. It's at home, so that'll be a big advantage, and I'd imagine there'll be a big old crowd there because you're getting decent crowds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I reckon there'll probably be a good, 300 to 400 probably there tomorrow. I would expect, if not more, for top of the table clash. I just think it's going to be very interesting just to see if they can, stop the pace. And they've got a young lad. I think it was. I wasn't there on Wednesday night. I think his name's Hinselwood. That's come up from reserves and scored 2 goals as well for Averley against Grays on Wednesday night as well. So James is not scared about bringing in youngsters or bringing in people from the reserve side as well, coming up into the first team. And to be honest with you, when he's done that, he's had some good success with it.
Yeah, it's good to see as well. It's good to see because we've all been at clubs where there's like the reserves and the first team are like 2 separate teams. So it's good that he's expected to be up there this year, but he's still got the faith in bringing boys up from the reserves.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think I've said on here before, when we was at Cheshunt, we had an under 23s rather than the reserves, and I think we promoted something like 18, 19 of those into the first team over 2 seasons. I think it's important. We found some real gems in there, and I think it's great that he does that. I think he did that at Brighton Sea as well, mate, to be fair. But I think, for me, Averley have got to go and try and play on the front foot. They've got to try and take the game to Bowers. They've got to win, haven't they?
I mean, I'm just looking at the form for it. Bowers and Pitsea, they beat Great Waker 4-1. They lost away to Haybridge by a goal to 0. They lost the Essex Cup by a goal to East Thurrock. They beat AFC Sudbury 3-0, beat Coggeshall 3-2, scored 10, conceded 5. Averley drew 2-2 with Great Waker. Beat AFC Sudbury 2-0 away, beat Felixstowe 3-2 at home. Drew 1-1 with Dereham away, and then beat Grays on Wednesday night 4-3 away. 12 goals for, 8 goals against. The head-to-head, it was Bowers 0, Averley 1. Averley 1, Bowers 1. Averley 1, Bowers 3. Bowers 2, Averley 0. And in the reverse fixture, it was Bowers 3, Averley 3. Previously early in the season, 6 goals for Averley, 9 for Bowers, 1 win for Averley, 2 for Bowers, and 2 draws. So it'll be interesting.
Goals. There'll be goals. It'll be 0-0 now. You watch. Like I say,
coming in. What do we reckon score wise?
2-1 Bowers for me.
I'll tell you why I laughed in a second. But Paul?
2-1 Averley.
There you go. And I was actually, as you were saying that, Dean, I was actually writing 2-1 Bowers, and difficult to go against your own team, but I've just got that sneaking feeling that Mr. Small will pull something out tomorrow against Averley. And I think, do you see that then? If Bowers win tomorrow, that it's all over, shall we say, and the league's Bowers and Pitseys?
No, because you saw what happened last year. Still, what, 15, 16 games to go? Mm-hmm. It's definitely not over, but obviously it would be a massive psychological thing for them to win tomorrow, and it shows the other teams, the challengers, that they feel like they're there to stay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
After you look you look at, we said, I think we spoke about Malden and Tiptree 17 points clear at one point, and they got caught by Grays that time. So, no, it's never over. I just think it will make it psychologically, Bowers will be able to, it will give them lots and lots of confidence. But I've just looked at you, you've not lost at home yet, have you?
No, not at all. No.
You've not lost at home. Neither of Bowers at their place, you know.
They both play on Astro, Paul.
They both play on 3G. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
But looking at the fixtures that are coming up in the Prem at the weekend, Burgess Hill against Bishop Stortford, Corinthian Casuals versus Bognor, Folkestone, who we've spoken about, against Kingstown, Harlow against Lewis, another big side coming down to the McCulloch Arena, and they've done the last two, so why can't they not make it a hat-trick against Lewis at the weekend? Margate against Leatherhead, Mersham against AFC Hornchurch. There's a side that seem to be really struggling, considering they've got a decent manager in there now as well. To me, they seem to be having a bit of a struggle. Could be one of the favourites now. They slip in there, possibly at the bottom of the end of the table.
They were struggling when he went in there, weren't they? And listen, Mark's got more experience than I've got, and been around and done a lot more than I've done in football. But maybe, just maybe, he's gone in and crashed the doors down and made one too many changes. And sometimes you can't do that. It's got to be a slow thing. Yeah. Unless you're Latino and you've only got 3 players left.
I had to sign 13 at least.
Potters Bar versus Dorking, Whitehall versus Carshalton, Wingate and Finchley versus Brighton and Sea Region, and the game that I was surprised that Glenn didn't pick, Worthing against Enfield Town.
Yeah, right next to each other in the table, weren't they?
And a big old game for that tomorrow.
Be a good crowd again.
Tough place to go on the 3G.
In the north, Canby versus Grays that we were speaking about. Coggeshall Town versus Dereham Town. I mean, Dereham getting a decent result against Averley as well last week. They're now going to Coggeshall. Be an interesting game.
Yeah, I mean, they've shocked me. Different. They are where they are in the league, but new manager come in, and they've done all right since he's come in. To be fair, haven't they? So, yeah, who knows, mate? Difficult one to call.
Felixstowe Walton versus Great Wakering. Milden Hall versus Basildon United, and Lee asked us to say what we thought. What do you reckon? Yeah,
well, firstly, well done for winning last week. I was pleased for Neil get his first win as Basildon manager. Yeah, hopefully that's changing luck and they can pick up a few wins.
Big 6-pointer, would you say it's a 6-pointer? Both down there, sort of.
You start the season, you wouldn't be saying that. Basildon were flying.
Yeah.
Absolutely flying and battling it out with Bowers. Now they're in a relegation 6-pointer. It's crazy how quickly football changes, mate. It's so.
They're still 12 points off relegation or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's it goes to show what we've said. Yes, you get your odd ones here and there where it's not about money, but unfortunately, success mainly is about money and what you're spending and the type of players you can get. As soon as that money was pulled away from the manager, they've just dropped like a stone, haven't they, Basildon?
Yeah, unfortunately they have. Just to look at some of these other games, just while my phone locks itself. Romford versus Bury Town, Tilbury versus Soundtown Rangers. Do you see Tilbury winning that one? And we getting one game closer to Lee where it's Bra?
Yeah, Tilbury win for me.
Jason Worthy's Bra, should I say?
Yeah, but then I said last week I didn't expect them to beat Haybridge, so it depends. They must be buzzing at the moment. Yeah, so
difficult place to go, Tilbury, isn't it?
Yeah, some say difficult. Some say other things. Yeah, it's not the nicest place to go in the world. Yeah.
Whittam Town versus Barking. And will James be jumping up and down again for a second week in a row? Who knows? Going into Central. Ashford Town versus Hayes and Yedding. Chalfont St Peter versus South Park. South Park seem to be not necessarily picking up the results they want, but they're certainly getting close to turning teams over, aren't they?
They've gone, Paul.
They get a good result last week, or were they 2-0 up or something like that?
No, they beat Hertford, didn't they? 3-2.
That's it. I knew they got a good result last week. Sorry, Dino. Go on, mate.
No, that's what I was going to say. They had a great win last week, and yeah, those teams down there, they need to pick up a few wins, and they made a good start last week, didn't they?
Chester are going to play Molesley, and of course that's the adopted side of our other show. Chipstead versus FC Romania, Egham Town versus Ware, Hanwell Town versus Marlow, another big game. Northwood versus Westfield, and Uxbridge versus Waltham Abbey. Where do you see the biggie games in there?
Would you say Oxford, Waltham Abbey?
Yeah, Hanwell Town, Marlow.
Yeah, a big game. I was just going to say about Molesley, mate. We had that great conversation about them last week, and praying they were going to win. They got hammered, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, 5-0. Yeah.
You can see something similar tomorrow. I would have thought with Ches and Mr. Hallett loitering around the goal.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. Faversham Town into Keith's League. Faversham Town versus Bray Wanderers. Greenwich Borough versus Winterville Town. Herne Bay against Hastings United. Horsham versus Ramsgate. Sevenoaks versus East Grinstead. Sittingbourne versus Haywards Heath. VCD versus Hive Town. And what we spoke about earlier on, Whiteleaf versus Phoenix. Another good game for Keith. Got a good win during midweek, but now going to take on Hive Town. That's going to be another cracker for them.
Yeah, another one they need to win, isn't it? Really, and they're right near Whiteleaf, right near the playoffs. Picked up again, so yeah, he needs to go and get a result there.
Yeah, I think every week we say Keith's going to win, he loses. So we if we don't say nothing this week, hopefully he picks up a win.
Talking of Keith, and I'm not sure if you've seen it. Did you see that he reacted to a Boston tweet?
Yeah, did you?
And rightly so. Let's be honest. And if anybody hasn't seen it, you know Keith's thoughts. And some people say, "Oh, Keith's always moaning about referees, etc., etc." But you know, it's not the case. And he's come up with some fantastic ideas on how to help English referees and non-league referees, etc., etc. And you know, and he did get some kind of response back from the official Boston Twitter feed, and some of the bits that I reposted it in the actual Isthmian show pages and group. Someone's put on here, Keith's getting banned. Keith came back. I'm shocked this has come from an official league Twitter account. Must be their view. Kevin Kuhn from Ware said, spot on, standards the lowest in been for a good number of years. Andy Wilkins then goes on there. Ian Townsend, who of course is the one that posts the stuff for the Boston League, came back with his own views. It said must be their view, ? It was simply me suggesting that people might want to train referees rather than moaning about standards without actually ever putting themselves out there. I get dozens of fans every weekend thinking they know better and somehow thinking that moaning about it to the league's Twitter account will fix it. Cole Bates, who used to host the Isthmian show with me early doors, said players make loads more mistakes than referees, try to con referees with diving, screaming abuse, demanding red cards, etc. But at the end of the match, pundits skim over them, then analyse every minute error of the officials. They never show in detail how hard it is to call an offside correctly. Just freeze frame it if the wrong call is made. Without them, we don't have the game we love. Problem is, people sit on the TV and it filters down who would want to be a referee. And then Jake has come in and said he wants to be a referee. So, but I mean, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, referees. I mean, Keith's opinion of like we should have like almost like a training school every day where they should be going to. I mean, is that something that you think would benefit referees in this in our level?
I think managers are under pressure, players are under pressure within their jobs. The only ones that don't seem to be under pressure in terms of if you don't produce does seem to be referees and linesmen. Some of them are great, some of them are no problem. They talk to you, they want to know you. Others are ignorant, don't want to speak to you and just dismiss you. They make some strange decisions and then try and justify them. And I think what I would say about Keith is he's the first person to praise a referee if he has a good game. So it's not just abuse that he's giving out. He will be the first person to praise if it goes and the referee's had a good game, even if they've been beat. So I think referees need to be accountable. I believe that sending an assessor down and telling them the assessor's going to be there is not the way forward, because referees 100% change the way they ref the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should be assessed in a real life situation and make either errors or make good decisions without thinking what someone's thinking, and then they can actually start to learn by their mistakes. But at the moment, they're not learning from their mistakes, because it's a false. For me, it's a false economy. Sending someone down and telling them you're actually there to watch them, they probably make more errors because they're scared to make a mistake.
Dean?
No, I mean, from my point of view, ultimately, at the end of 90 minutes, you don't want to be talking about a referee. So, where people said they've had a decent game, whatever, that's their job.
Yeah.
That's their job to have a decent game. So, yeah, that's my view on it. Ultimately, I don't want to be talking about a referee win, lose or draw after 90 minutes. And yeah, it's the easiest excuse is to blame the referee. But I think sometimes, like when you do win the game, and maybe if you feel the referee hasn't been great, that's the time to sort of say about it, rather than when you lose, everyone jumps on the referee. Listen, we could lose tomorrow and it could be the referee giving a bad decision or whatever. But ultimately, at the end of every football game, I don't want to be talking about any referees.
So I suppose just before we go, I mean, give us a little update on what's going on with your new job at Welling Garden. I mean, how's it been going? And is there stuff that you're looking forward to in the future with the club?
Yeah, so we had a good result last Saturday. Drew 0-0 with Aylesbury United, so that was really good. They were a really experienced side, so I was pleased with that. Then we was meant to play Corby on Tuesday night, and it snowed at about 10 to 6, which was a bit of a nightmare because Corby were basically there. And then obviously it was down to the referee, so we waited until 7 o'clock. The referee wanted to wait till 7 o'clock, and then obviously it wasn't playable when the referee called it off. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare for Corby. They got to travel all the way down, but when it snows at 10 to 6, not a lot you can do really. But yeah, we've got Berkhamsted tomorrow. Berkhamsted right up there, so it'll be a tough game again tomorrow. But like I said earlier, our average age is 19 at the moment, so we're very young, and the only target between now and the end of the season is to get enough points to stay up.
Well, Berkhamsted, of course, have played. I'm sure I'm right in saying played ably in the trophy this season. It looks like a really good outfit.
Yeah, they got two good strikers, and they got Elliot Godfrey in midfield, very experienced player who played for Wealdstone, and so yeah, it's going to be a tough test. But yeah, like Paul was saying earlier, with young players, they go there. Half of my team don't even know who Berkhamsted are. A few of them ask me where it is. So yeah, so we go there tomorrow, no fear and nothing to lose really.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best, of course, as we always do with that tomorrow, and we're looking out for that result. But guys, a massive thank you for joining me once again on the Reposs Isthmian preview show. And a massive thank you, of course, to Andy Wilkins, who's coming up with all the graphics for the show as well. So massive thank you to Andy for all his time he puts in for putting that together. And of course, we wish Glenn all the best for the future as well. And as we said before, if you want to join the show and you want to be our number 4 and join us in Celebrity Squares from next week, then why not give us a shout through Twitter, through Facebook, and we'll see what we can get in. Even if we have a guest spot and you can't do it every week, we may even get a guest spot where we have someone coming in as a guest every week. But if you want to do it, even if Jason wants to come on or anybody else wants to come on, then make sure you give us a contact and we'll sort it out for you. But thanks for joining us again this week. Don't forget the Isthmian show. He's back this Monday night, of course, with the boys from Haringey and also from Harlow as well. But until then, good night.